D&D Finance, helping you making better financial decisions. Subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any upcoming videos. So let's get started. Apple Car. Are you excited? I'm not, and you will see. I also will talk about Apple stock and Microsoft stock for entertainment purposes only. So Apple Car can look like this or like this. Well, it looks a little bit futuristic or even this. But here's a big but. According to Reuters, a newspaper, they say that Apple might aim for 2024 for the Apple Car deliveries. But according to Apple analyst, he said that Apple Car might even launch on 2027 at the earliest. Smash the like button for no reason. So the 2027 earliest, so that's like 6 years from now. So at the time Tesla cars can even fly. So yeah, that's not a good news at all. But here's an interesting thing with the Apple Car, because they offer a better integration of hardware, software and services than potential competitors in the automotive market. These chips, with Apple designed chips, manufactured by the current chipmaker TSMC. So that sounds like a big moat for Apple, but yeah, 2027 earliest. Well, I'm not excited about this news that I see. Any questions so far, feedbacks or comments, just leave it in the video description below. But here's a better news for Apple stock. The iPhone 12 has a very high demand. That's why they have to boost their production plan up to 30%. So that's a really good sign that they are doing well with their Apple products, in this case the iPhone. So let's have a quick look at the Apple stock real quick. So on 8th January 2020, the Apple stock is traded at $132, and 1 month ago the Apple stock was at around $122. So which is like an increase of about 8% up to now. So that's fairly good Apple stock performance. And 1 year ago the Apple stock price was at around $77, which is an increase of about 70% up to now. So that's really good. So Apple stock here, their market cap is at around $2.22 trillion. So Apple is still the most valuable company in the world. They even pay a dividend, which is not that much, but it's still a dividend which they pay, which is under 1%, better than nothing. I mean, tech growth stocks like this, in general, they don't even pay any dividends. So it's something remarkable about this Apple stock. And their PE ratio is 40. So it is really fairly valued for this company because of this high growth potential. And according to technicals, according to many analysts, this stock is a buy. So let's have a closer look at the Apple stock chart. As you can see here on this support line, this red line here, you can see clearly that the Apple stock is still on the upward trend. And if you look like on February, where this whole world crisis started, it was around mid of February, the Apple stock price started to fully recover since June, and since then the Apple stock could surpass the previous high records. And currently, according to RSI, it is at around 55, something like that. So the Apple stock is neither overbought nor oversold. So this Apple stock rally should continue for the next days and weeks to come. Before we will talk about Microsoft stock, let's have a quick look at their financials real quick. So they have 3 business lines. The first one is productivity and business processes. The next one is intelligent cloud. And the last one here is more personal computing. In the next slide, I will tell you more about each business lines in detail, but here are the financials. The intelligent cloud could grow over 20% compared to the previous year. So that's actually also a no-brainer, but yeah, more remote workers uses Microsoft services like Microsoft Office, Azure. Well, the companies also use more Microsoft Azure, etc. That's why the increase. So this whole world crisis is actually a benefit for Microsoft. That's why the revenue in total of these three business lines increased 12%. Another very remarkable thing is the gross margin percentage. It is 70% gross margin. So if you compare it, for example, to Tesla, their gross margin is currently at about almost 24%. So that's the beauty of software companies. They make really a lot of money, a lot of profit margin. And their profit for the quarter, so for 3 months, they had a profit of around 14 billion US dollars, which means they made more than 1 billion US dollars per week in profit. So yeah, that was a nice quarter. Cool, really cool. What a money machine. So let's have a quick look here. Some financial highlights. They paid the dividends of around 4.2 billion in dividends. That's quite interesting. I didn't know that they paid dividends, but yeah, we'll see about it later. How much the dividend yield is. And the tax rate is just 14%, so it's actually not that high. I bet that many people out there will have a way higher tax rate than that. And Microsoft is the second most valuable company in the world. So yeah, that's quite interesting for those companies with such low tax rate. But yeah, they have enough tax consultants and tax write-offs, etc. They know how to optimize their taxes. Alright, here are the business lines in more detail. The productivity and business processes that contains of Microsoft Office 365 commercial. That was also a huge increase. And LinkedIn was also an increase, 16%. That's also a no-brainer because people got laid off and then they want to change their career or also want to use LinkedIn to look for new jobs, etc. And their Dynamics products also increased like 18%, 90%, something like that. That's interesting. The next business line is Intelligent Cloud, which are server products, which also includes Microsoft Azure. And Microsoft Azure had a growth like 48%. That's quite remarkable. So the Intelligent Cloud business line is the most profitable part of Microsoft. Next one, my more personal computing, which mean the Windows software, which like almost everyone uses. And here also commercial products and cloud services, Xbox content, that's interesting. The service also increased like 37%, that's also interesting to see. Because Microsoft Surface is more like tablet and notebooks. And yeah, because people stay at home more because of remote work, so they buy more such gadgets. Okay. Well, I would assume that they would buy more desktops, but yeah, I mean, those mobile gadgets are also very handy. And the search advertising revenue also, well, that one decreased, yeah, because people don't want to spend much money on marketing anymore. Alright, so let's have a quick look at the Microsoft stock price real quick. On 8th January 2020, the Microsoft stock was at around 220 US dollars. 1 month ago it was 210. Okay, so that's an increase of about 4%. It's alright. And 1 year ago the Microsoft stock price was was at around 160 US dollars. That's an increase of about 35%. Fair enough. So let's have a closer look here. The market cap is at around 1.66 trillion US dollars. Okay, and their dividend yield is also less than 1%, so almost the same like Apple stock. So it seems like they also want to stay competitive with Apple because Apple is the most valuable company in the world. And the PE ratio here is also fairly valued at around 35. So let's have a closer look at the Microsoft stock chart real quick. As you can see here, the red support line. The Microsoft stock is still on the upward trend. And the RSI is at around, let's see, 50, so it's neither overbought nor oversold. So the Microsoft stock should continue this upward trend for the next days and weeks to come. And if you see like pre-world crisis, like 19th February, the Microsoft stock price was at around 190. And it started to fully recover since June 2020. So it took also also about 4 months for Microsoft to recover, like very similar to Apple stock. But since August, since July, something like that, the Microsoft stock is trading sideways more or less, but still, yeah, it's still on the upward trend overall. According to YouTube, you should watch the video on the left side on the screen next.